forums. These forums will bring together the public and various experts to offer solutions to our everyday problems. Join our panel as they discuss and share about health and the healthcare systems in Kenya live from the Strathmore Business School. Follow the conversation on our social media platforms and help build a stronger, healthier and vibrant nation. Transform Kenya. Empower our nation. Transform Kenya, brought to you by Standard Group in partnership with the National Hospital Insurance Fund NHIF, Ministry of Health, Cosmos, Jubilee Insurance, Amref Health Africa, the Nairobi Women's Hospital and Strathmore Business School.
Jioni njema mtazamaji, natumai umekuwa na mchana mwema jinsi nilivyomie. Karibu sana kwenye mjadala wetu wa Transform Kenya kwenye taarifa za jukwaa la KTN, ambapo kuanzia sasa mwendo wa saa 12 hadi saa 4 usiku tutakuwa tukiangazia mjadala kwa upana hata zaidi ambao unazingira sekta ya afya nchini. Je, hali imeimarika au iko vile vile? Tunajua mojawapo ya ajenda 4 za serikali kuu ni kuhakikisha kwamba wewe unapokea huduma bora popote ulipo. Je, huduma bora inahitaji nini? Tunajadili swala hili kwa kina zaidi. Siko peke yangu, tuko naye Daktari Mercy Korir ambaye yuko katika chuo kikuu cha Strathmore ambako atakuwa akiendeleza mjadala na wataalamu mbalimbali. Dr. Mercy, upande huo tutarajie nini?
Zubeida, we at the Strathmore Business School are ready to kick off this discussion focusing on healthcare. And we know that access to health means access to health services, access to quality medications, access to even the healthcare workers providing these services. And even this access could be as obvious as the health or the transport infrastructure to that health facility. And we'll be having this discussion with our invited audience, and the issues that we will be discussing will be focusing on leadership and governance, health financing, human resources for health, and obviously looking at pharmaceuticals and diagnostics, and wrapping up this conversation with universal healthcare coverage. Now, we have a panel of 6. We have to my immediate left, as we can see here, Dr. Andrew Mulwa, who is the chair of the forum of the committee of the County Executive Committee members for health. We have Dr. Vimal Patel, who has over 30 years experience in the pharmaceutical industry. He is the MD of Cosmos Pharmaceuticals. Dr. Julius Kipngetich, next to Vimal, is the CEO of Jubilee Insurance. We have Dr. Jacqueline Kutulu, who is the president of the Kenya Medical Association, with a passion to improving our healthcare systems. Last but not least, we have Mr. Geoffrey Mwangi, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the National Hospital Insurance Fund. We are still waiting for Dr. Rashid Aman, who is the Chief Administrative Secretary at the Ministry of Health. And we'll have this discussion with our eminent members of the panel, with our invited audience, and to take your questions from the audience and from the public is Sharon Momanyi and Michael Gitonga. Sharon, Michael, what are your expectations this evening?
Indeed, Dr. Mercy, we cannot overstate the importance of this forum tonight. Of course, healthcare is at the very core of the welfare of humanity and Kenyans indeed. And we're lucky to have stakeholders, very critical stakeholders in the health sector in the country represented tonight. So we'll be fielding questions from sections of Kenyans just to hear what are your critical concerns. Of course, at Standard Group, we have widely covered the issues that affect access to healthcare, the cost of healthcare, and want to hear what are we doing, how are we doing in this sector in the country, and what would be the way forward. And of course, the people represented here, the experts and our guests, are not the only voices that you are welcoming to this conversation tonight. Right, Michael?
Yes, and indeed that is absolutely correct, because universal healthcare is about your health. It is really that critical healthcare that you need, and would invite you at this point in time to also participate in this conversation. You're welcome to do that via social media. media. The hashtag is Transform Kenya. That's the hashtag we're running, and would like to hear your comments. Send in your questions, send in any experience that you have. And as we have this discussion on universal healthcare, we want you to participate, and we'll be reading some of your comments as we go along. Dr. Korir.
Indeed, we shall be engaging the members of the public, you at home who are watching us, and the audience who are here. But before we start this discussion, Transform Kenya is an initiative by the Standard Group, and I'd like to invite our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Orlando Lyomu, to just tell us what to expect with this Transform Kenya, where we're looking at empowering our nation. Mr. Lyomu, do welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Korir, or should I say Mercy. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and to our panelists, good evening. So the Standard Group, over the years, decided to create a platform across our various brands that will be used to elicit participation and to engage and to promote sustainable implementation of social, political, and economic agenda of the country. As you understand, media, the role of media in any country, primarily is always seen as, should I say, to give you news, political news, maybe entertainment. However, when you dig deeper, then you'll start seeing that the raw power, the sheer ability of media to transform society is massive. And that's why the Standard Group has decided to try and tap into that potential and see what we can achieve. In 2014, we launched the Transform Kenya Awards. The way we saw it in 2014, we said, let's try and recognize ordinary people doing extraordinary things, and let's give them that support. Let's bring to the fore what they are doing. And it was a very successful national program where a couple of people identified and awarded. In the follow-up months, we asked ourselves, how do we make this better? It's always easier to celebrate people's successes, but how do you participate in making them successful? And that's where the current format of the Transform Kenya Awards comes from. Our vision, which is to be the voice of society, meant that we had to go beyond awarding the change makers. It meant that we had to start participating in the change ourselves as an institution. And that is how we now came into the Transform Kenya Forum. The Transform Kenya Forum provides an opportunity for all industry stakeholders, businesses, national, county governments, and citizenry to engage in key issues and offer possible solutions. Remember, over the years, we've had visions like Vision 2030. Now we have the Big Four agenda. How do we ensure that as we take one milestone after the next into Vision 2030, how do we ensure that as we work hard towards achieving the four the four critical agendas, how does media play into that? So this year we started with our first Transform Kenya initiative, which was held on 5th of June at Matuga School of Government in Kwale, and we were focusing on the environment. It also happened to be the World Environment Day. We had a very fruitful discussion. The public really raised pertinent issues, and out of that you could appreciate the challenges that we face as a community. We every day will complain about pollution, we'll complain about the environment, but what came out at that forum was very eye-opening. For instance, how many of us, and I'm guilty as charged, how many of us in our offices really relish having a bottle of water every time you go into a meeting? And how many of us care what happens to that bottle after you've drank your water? You're probably contributing to the environmental challenge that we witness across the country. So you can see that some of the problems we have when we talk about environmental problems, when we talk about health problems, some of these problems are actually caused by very basic oversights. And that's why we say that Transform Kenya is supposed to come, create a platform for people to engage, have discourse that can enable us find simple solutions. A lot of times we look for complex solutions. No, it's simple solutions to everyday problems. So our discussions will probably cover from environmental challenges, global warming, waste management, plastic ban, and also opportunities that Kenyans can use to leverage. Now today, which is the second installment of our Transform Kenya agenda, is mainly going to focus on health. I think from when I was a young boy, we used to hear that a healthy nation is a wealthy nation. So if that be the case, then we should struggle to be the healthiest nation. Probably will end up being the wealthiest nation. And since health is one of the key pillars of the Big Four agenda, then I think the topic is appropriate for today. We have the right experts. We all know the kind of challenges we face in our country when it comes to the health sector. I don't know how many of you have the misfortune of, have had the misfortune of not dealing with what I would call insurance-backed kind of medical facility. But if you've ever had that experience, then you'll understand the kind of challenges that we have in our health sector. I once had to help evacuate an accident victim, and that's when the stark reality of what ordinary citizens have to deal with when they go to seek medical attention hit me. You see, when you are lucky and you've gone through a system where you can always flash a medical card and you get treatment, then you take for granted the very basic things in our health sector. So today we want to provide a platform where we can gather public views, where the experts can exchange ideas, and where the public can give us feedback so that we see how best can the health sector move forward. How can we ensure that the high cost of medical treatment, that the lost man hours by institutions are tackled through simple forums like this ones where we talk, we exchange ideas, and then we give that initiative momentum and move on. Of course, today is not my day, so I don't want to keep it very long. Every forum like this must have people who have worked hard, and today we want to recognize that this would not have been possible without, of course, the involvement of the National Hospital Insurance Fund, which is represented here, of course, the Jubilee Insurance represented here, Cosmos as well represented, Amref Health Africa, Nairobi Women's Hospital, of course, our gracious hosts, the Strathmore Business School, and the Ministry of Health. I would also like to appreciate the panel of experts. I know we'll all sit here, we'll look forward to them, we'll listen keenly. So I would say that we appreciate they've taken their time to come make this event a success. And I pray that we'll have a very fruitful discussion today. And by the end of this evening's session, let's see how fast we'll have started transforming the health sector in this country. And with those few remarks, ladies and gentlemen, I really wish you an enjoyable evening. Please participate fully, and let's start the journey to enriching, improving, and ensuring that our health sector provides an environment where the Kenyans become the wealthiest nation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for those few remarks. You almost preempted the topic, but as you have indicated, this is the right topic, is the right forum, is the right discussion. And we look forward to continuing this discussion, but now we'll start with discussing the human resources for health aspect of the universal health coverage. And I'll hand you back to Zubeida Kome, who will take us through that segment of the discussion. Zubeida.